Okay, what's up, naughty rhomboids? Okay, so we're going to talk about the glenohumeral joint and assessing posture again. So one of the questions you have to ask yourself about the glenohumeral joint is, right, just this joint here, the ball and socket, right, is where the lateral epicondyle and the joint itself lines up with the greater trochanter. Some people will assess this differently, but this is from my notes from class, okay? I sometimes look at some different things, but I won't go into that. All right, so glenohumeral joint, greater trochanter, and how do they align? So I'll get a little closer. So if I'm looking at myself, I would say I'm probably aligned. But if I was stuck in a flexed position at the glenohumeral joint, my epicondyle will be in front of my joint that way. So that's slight flexion. Okay, and this is my right side. So that's neutral, that's flexion. Okay. So if we were talking about fixing that posture, we would work on the muscles that flex that shoulder on that same side, obviously, which is the pectoralis major, the anterior deltoid, and the biceps brachii. Okay? All right, so that's flexion. Extension, that's the antagonistic movement to flexion. So, again, if this is neutral, my arm's behind the trochanter, or sometimes the acromium process, or trochanter, right? But this could be deceiving, but let's just say we're going by the trochanter. If my arm's behind, or epicondyle is behind the trochanter, then we would say I'm stuck in extension. So the muscles you're going to work on there is the latissimus dorsi, posterior deltoid, pectoralis major, so it's probably the different fibers, probably more the upper fibers, and then triceps brachii. So those are the muscles that extend, all right? AB, or abduction. This one's a little bit harder to assess, and I know I have a hard time with it, is if my arms are like glued to my side, that would be considered adduction or adducted, right? That's adducted. If they are just a little space between your trunk and the condyle, in this case the medial condyle, then that would be considered neutral. And now if I'm way out here, that would be stuck in abduction. So at that point, two muscles you're going to work on: supraspinatus and deltoid. Probably all fibers, but spend some time on that the medial or middle fibers. Okay. All right, adduction, just the opposite. My arms are on my body, on my trunk, then I would want to work on pec major. That's more lower fiber. I can feel those tense up. Latissimus dorsi, triceps brachii, that long head, infraspinatus, and teres minor. Okay, two of the sits muscles. So that's working on postural deviation for adduction of the glenohumeral joint. And then medial rotation, also known as internal rotation, so that's this. So here's neutral, internally rotated. You're going to look at the cubital fossa. If you see a slight partial view of the cubital fossa, that's actually neutral. If it's facing my body, turned in, and usually you can see the back of my hands too. You'll see some people with the back of their hands facing forward. then you know that shoulder is internally rotated. Now, on the opposite end of that, externally rotated, usually my thumb is facing forward, or this is neutral. Externally rotated, you start to see my palm, and that cubital fossa is starting to open up and face exactly forward. That and anything beyond that would be externally rotated or laterally rotated. So for medial rotation, that's this way or stuck that way. I'll get back where you can see it. That's really bad. You're going to work on anterior deltoid. This is medial rotation. You work on pec minor or pec majors, excuse me, subscapularis, and then latissimus dorsi. Right? And then for lateral rotation, the muscles you're going to work on is infraspinatus, teres minor, both the external rotators of the sits group, and then posterior deltoid. So that's lateral rotation. Okay, so that's the postural stuff for the glenohumeral joint. The only other thing that I should mention is that you have a horizontal adduction and abduction, which is actually what Fred said. We're going to assess that in the movement part, which will come later. We'll also see that in the scapulothoracic video. Awesome, you guys. Hope that helps.